Hey yo, thanks for tuning in to The Source, your source for celebrity news. Alright, check this out. The other day, former football phenom Michael Irvin was talking to Shannon Sharpe, and during the interview, he put his wannabe rapping son on blast for his hip-hop gangster cosplay shenanigans. When discussing his son, who goes by the name Tut Tarantino, Michael Irvin said, quote, "I got a son, he raps. His rap name is Tut Tarantino. If you ever listen to some of his raps, I'm like, oh my god, where does some of this come from, son? You grew up in a gated community your whole life." But he's rapping my life, because we romanticize and fantasize about the old thug life, ghetto life, and all of that stuff. We used to work to get away from it. Now, we've gotten to a place somehow where we're running back towards it, in the music, in everything. End quote. Listen, it just cracks me up when I see these rich kids who obviously grew up with a silver spoon in their mouths, running around here acting like they're mad hard and they're from the ghetto, and that their upbringing was so rough that they're now the toughest thugs on the block. I mean, these young rich dudes don't know nothing about the struggle and how hard it is to cut that government block cheese. But what they do is they sit down and they watch these rap videos and they think they understand what ghetto life is. And then they make these characters of themselves and personas based on false perceptions. Source, can you please pull up a picture of Michael Irvin's 7-bedroom, 8.5 bath, $2.5 million square foot house? Yeah, Tut Tarantino had it real hard. I wonder how this young man ever made it out of that hood. Listen, let me know what you think about Michael Irvin's son, Tut Tarantino, rapping about growing up in these mean streets. And then Michael Irvin calling his son out because he grew up in a gated community. Let me know what you think about that in the comments. And while you're down there leaving a comment, be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. Alright, let's see what we're going to talk about next. I think we need to talk about Brian McKnight. A whole bunch of people are too through and fit to be tied with R&B singer Brian McKnight after he announced his new album that's dedicated to his newborn son. And he also announced that he's changing his name. Brian wrote, quote, "So proud to introduce our son, Brian Kanoa Makoa Jr. to the world with the release of my new album lovingly created for him. Junior, because I'm also proud to officially announce that I have legally changed my name to exactly match my legacies. My legal name is now Brian Kanoa Makoa McKnight Sr." End quote. Okay, so at first, mad people were in his comment section "Oh, this is so sweet. He's such a good father." And then somebody came through and was "Wait a minute, Brian Kanoa Makoa McKnight Sr. Don't you already have a son named Brian McKnight Jr.? What are you doing? How you gonna steal a legacy from one son to give to another?" Well, after the revelation hit that Brian McKnight already has 6 children, including one that is already a junior, somebody came in the comment section and was quote, "I've never seen anyone proudly demonstrate how much they hate their children like Brian McKnight. Changing his name to match his new baby when he's already got a junior is next level cruel. He's a trash human being for not only doing it, but also putting it on display to the world." End quote. And then somebody else came through and said, quote, "This is just... there are no words to describe how much of a vile human being you have to be to hurt your firstborn son by doing some mess like this. Brian McKnight is truly disgusting for this." End quote. And then somebody named the thirstiest ninja in LA was quote, "Brian McKnight is a effing weirdo. Being almost 60, legally changing your name and disassociate yourself from your black children is some pitiful ish." End quote. And then after that, somebody else was quote, "The crazy thing is, wouldn't Brian McKnight Sr. be the junior because the baby had the name first, technically?" End quote. Okay, I'm quite sure that that's not how that works. However, that's funny as heck anyway. But listen, let me know what you think about Brian McKnight changing his name legally to match his new baby's name with the new woman, even though he already has a son that's a junior. Let me know what you think about that in the comments. Do you think that that's mad disrespectful to the firstborn son? And also, do you think that Brian McKnight is foul as hell for that? Now, check this out. The other day, there was allegedly a mass exodus out of Dave Chappelle's comedy show at Boston's TD Garden because a whole bunch of fans got offended and walked out in the middle of the show when Dave said that students who express support for Palestine should not be denied job offers. According to sources, after Dave said that, a heckler in the audience told Dave to shut up. So Dave responded to the heckler by further elaborating on his opinions. Okay, so according to the sources, after condemning the October 7th Hamas attacks, in which over 1,000 Israelis died, they say that Chappelle, quote, accused Israel of killing innocent civilians and committing war crimes, end quote. They also said that Dave said, quote, the U.S. was guilty of aiding the slaughter of innocent civilians, end quote. Now, allegedly, right after Dave shared his very unpopular opinions, a number of fans just got up and walked out. And one person said, quote, the audience was cheering Chappelle on during his tirade. I was sick. We were sick. I turned to my friends and my wife and said, I think it's time to go. We walked out and met up with many other Jews leaving the show. Never in my life have I felt so unsafe and so fearful of what I was witnessing, end quote. Listen, I think that whenever you get into a discussion about Israel and Palestine, things can get very contentious. But we live in a country that's based on free speech. So you know what? Dave Chappelle can say whatever he wants about Israel and Palestine. I mean, it's his opinion and you went to his show. Now, if you get to his show and you don't like what he says, you can exercise your right to walk out. It's just as simple as that. End of story. And I know, somebody's gonna come in the comment section like, Source, how dare you and Dave Chappelle side with the Palestinians? I don't think I told you where I stood on this war. I simply said that Dave Chappelle has free speech. Listen, let me know what you think about mad people walking out of Dave Chappelle's show because he allegedly expressed pro-Palestinian opinions when talking about the war. Let me know what you think about that in the comments. Now, let's discuss Boosie. The other day, Boosie jumped on Instagram to share a little something about people in Atlanta. Boosie said if there's one thing that you should know about people from the ATL is that they don't mind asking for a handout. Check this out.
People in Atlanta don't mind asking you for nothing, boy. That's one thing about Atlanta. They don't hold their tongue, boy. I was in the line to get some breakfast with me and my mama. Lady walked up and said, Boosie buying my breakfast. You got it. Said, Boosie buying my breakfast. Can I get a coffee too, Boosie? I ain't even say yeah. Man, they don't play. She was in the line, she told me, oh yeah, Boosie buying my breakfast. Nigga got it. I was like, God damn. And give me a coffee too. I had to buy a breakfast. Put me on the spot. My mama was dying laughing. Oh, I'm good, girl. Boosie buying my breakfast. Look at that nigga got it. God gonna bless you. It was so funny, bro. She was so loud. She said, Boosie, you gonna buy my breakfast? Huh?
You make it through yet?
After she already told him. She said, Boosie, you gonna buy my breakfast? Huh?
We at the gate.
I said, you ain't got. I said, if you ain't got it, you ain't got it. She said, I got it, but you got it.
Yo, I'm gonna start using that. When I'm like out with friends and it comes time to like pay for stuff, I'm be like, nah, I got it, but you got it. Yo, let me ask you something. If you were like ever in Atlanta and you were like in IHOP and Boosie just happened to be in there too, would you ask Boosie to buy you breakfast? Because even though you got it, he got it. Let me know in the comments. But while we're talking about who's paying the bills and who's not paying the bills, a judge has ordered Angela Simmons to pay $48,000 after she failed to respond to a suit alleging that she abandoned her penthouse without paying her bill. The $48,704.40 includes late fees, unpaid rent, repairs, and more. According to sources, Angela rented the flat in Pembroke at Fort Lee Coop in Randolph, New Jersey in October of 2019, but the landlord claims that Angela started racking up huge late fees for not paying her rent in full in late 2020, and the tab eventually ballooned to more than $50K. Okay, so after word started to spread on social media that Angela Simmons owed the $50K on the penthouse, one person came in the comment section and said, quote, Gotti got it and she got it. All she did was probably broke the lease agreement and they going after her because of who she is. Stop making it seem like that girl broke and skipping out on rent. That's Krishan Rock's story, not our good sister Angela Simmons that come from old money. Not me riding, just stating the facts. End quote. And then somebody else said, quote, her man, her daddy. Send the bill to one of them. End quote. Look, Angela Simmons got $50K, but I mean, sometimes you get bills and you just don't want to pay them. You're like, I'm not paying that. I mean, I get parking tickets all the time, and even though I can afford to pay them, I'm like, nope, I ain't paying it. And sometimes it's just a matter of principle, because I'm like, I know I parked in a space that was good, and then sometime after I was gone, they came and changed that sign to say alternate side of the street parking. Yo, let me know what you think about Angela Simmons owing $50K on the penthouse apartment. Do you think that like Angela doesn't have it, or do you think Angela just don't want to pay it? Let me know in the comments. Now, for some of y'all, you might already know this, but for the rest of y'all, I'm getting ready to trip you out. Did you know that Regina King does the voices for both like Huey and Riley on the Boondocks? Check this out.
Okay, first of all, don't trust them new niggas was not a spiritual. We could just do a little research and look it up. I don't know, pick up a book.
Boo! That movie sucked.
So you're okay with him being gay?
Gay? Who said he was gay? Nigga, is you crazy? Cake's delicious. Cake.
Regina King plays Huey and Riley. She does this amazing thing where she goes back and forth between the voices, and you know, she's the only one who could possibly pull that off, and I think she just does a fantastic job at both characters.
I originally was only playing Riley, and here we are in our second season, and I'm Huey and Riley, and I am able to do it pretty well.
It's all good, man. Just out here Rick Rossing it, you know, not loving them hoes.
Yo, who'd have thunk when Regina King started doing like 227 that she was gonna grow up to be like one of America's best and treasured actresses? I mean, this chick right here is like so talented, it's ridiculous. Listen, shout out to Regina King. Now, really quick, let me know what you think about this. There's a video on TikTok that's going viral because a delivery driver for like something like Instacart or something refused to give a couple their groceries because they didn't give her a tip on a $400 delivery. Check this out.
You can see how much work it was and why I should be getting a tip because of how much work
No,
this was.
you don't deserve
Yes,
a tip. You
I do.
certainly don't.
Why do I not?
You're crushing the ramen noodles for
I'm
one.
not
With
crushing
it.
anything.
Yes,
the
you
ramen
are.
noodles are perfectly fine.
No,
I don't know what you're talking
no,
about.
They're not.
They're perfectly
I just saw
fine.
you crush them.
They're not crushed. And why does it matter anyways? I'm
You're
taking
not
it back to
good
the
at
store.
your
They're
job,
not for
so
you
why would you
anymore.
get a tip?
They're not for you anymore. I just told you why I should get a tip. I had to pack all of this in my car and bring it to you guys and unpack it. You did not pay me. You paid the
I paid
delivery
for this
app.
food, okay?
You paid the delivery app. You did not pay me.
Do
Do you not understand that? No, I'm taking all of this back.
No, you're not.
Yes, I am.
No,
you guys can get your refund, and another delivery driver can deal with you guys. I'm not going to deal with
No,
it
you're
anymore.
stealing.
No, I'm not
You
stealing
are
it. I'm
stealing
taking it
for
back.
paying.
How do we know you're going to take it back to the store?
store.
How do we know you're going to take it back to the store? Though?
You'll get a receipt. Trust me.
No,
you'll get your
I
receipt.
won't,
Yeah,
okay?
you will. I'm gonna go take it back to the store.
I just don't.
I don't need it. I don't need all this
You're
stuff,
gonna get
so I don't
fired.
have a reason to have it.
This
So I'm
is
gonna take it back to the store.
$400
I don't care
that
how
you're
much
stealing.
it was.
You're stealing.
I'm not
over
stealing it. I'm taking it back to the store.
No,
What
you
don't
are.
understand?
You are. You're gonna go
Clearly,
to jail.
you're not understanding because I'm telling you right now, it's going back to the store. You guys can get your money back, and you can hire another driver.
You can't just take things.
Go ahead and drive another driver.
No, you can't take
Go
things.
ahead and drive. Get another driver to.
You can't take things that don't belong to you. You clearly don't understand how this. To confirm the order, it's my property.
That doesn't matter.
Do you not understand what property
get your
is?
refund back so that I don't have to deal with you guys anymore.
No, you're gonna lose your job.
No, and at this point, I'd rather lose my job than have to deal with you guys. At this point,
So you're gonna load all of it up.
I'm gonna load it all back
You
up
are
and
so
get you guys
illogical.
and get you guys' return.
I feel like this is just a waste of time. You're just wasting your time.
I'd
That's
rather
probably
waste
why.
my time than deal with you guys at this point. I'd rather you guys deal with another delivery person, and then you can see that they're gonna have an issue as well because
We're not gonna
you're not
tip.
tipping. Then you're gonna have
I
an
mean,
issue with them
tipping
as
is
well.
optional for
and
a reason.
It's gonna
If-
become a cycle. It's gonna keep.
If they wanted it to be like mandatory, why didn't they make this like
I
a
don't
thing?
know. I don't make the rules for these apps. I just work
I mean,
for it.
then
And
why
I'm
don't you
wondering
complain
why
to them and
guys
just
don't
give us
tip.
our food?
We do complain. Have you not been hearing about the strikes? Do you guys not watch the
Do
news?
a better job.
What?
Do a better job.
I did a great job actually. I delivered all this stuff to you. I loaded it, unloaded it, and I got it here early. So I'm confused how I didn't do a good job and why I don't deserve a tip. That's how you show your appreciation.
Well, clearly you don't deserve a tip. You're not even giving me my groceries.
Well, no, I'm not because you guys didn't tip me. Like, what aren't you understanding?
You don't deserve a tip.
That-
It's optional.
Okay, I
and
don't
just
deserve-
because it's optional doesn't give you the right
Great.
to
You said
take
I don't
my
deserve a tip, so now I'm
groceries.
going to return it back and you guys
No,
can get
you're
your money
literally
back.
taking my groceries.
Yeah, I'm taking your groceries
You're literally
back to the store.
stealing my
I'm taking
groceries.
your groceries back to the store.
Okay, so you're stealing my groceries,
I'm
taking them back to
taking
the
them back to the store.
and then I'm gonna get you fired.
Go ahead.
Because
Go
you stole
ahead.
my groceries, and then I'm gonna call
Okay,
cops.
okay.
That's $300
Go
worth of
ahead.
charges right there. So that's a misdemeanor.
Go
Or it's
ahead.
a felony for you.
Go ahead.
I just
At
want to
this
like.
point-
I
at
want
this
to
point,
lay out the logic of
Go
all
ahead
of
and
this
lay it out for me.
you.
You guys are going to get your refund back, and then
No.
you guys can deal with
It's
it
more
from
than
there.
just a refund. You've
It has nothing to
stolen.
do with me anymore. So once I return those back to the store, it's up to them for what they do
All right,
with
you know
okay?
what? You take everything.
I'm
You take
going to.
everything,
Yeah.
and you have a great day. We are going
You
to
too.
report this.
Go ahead.
Probably gonna keep it for herself.
That's what I'm thinking, but
Well, after this video started circulating online and people started arguing back and forth, one person said, the tip is optional. You shouldn't have accepted the order if you didn't agree with the tip or not that was offered. I think my question would be, for all of the people who work as like delivery people for like Instacart and all those other places, do you get to see the tip like in advance before you accept the order? I'd be very interested in knowing that. So if you know, let me know in the comment section down below. Well, anyways, somebody else said, listen, as long as I pay for my stuff, none of my stuff would have went back in that car. I don't condone violence, but let that chick try and take my stuff back, and she would have been on the ground, period. And then somebody else said, tipping is optional, not an obligation. We need to stop promoting this entitlement mentality. If your job doesn't pay you enough, discuss it with the manager. And then, last but not least, somebody else came through and said, God delivered me from not tipping. I used to be ignorant, but I appreciate a hard worker, so I absolutely give him something. Listen, let me know who's right and wrong in this situation. Is this couple wrong for not tipping this chick on a $400 delivery? Or is this chick wrong for putting their groceries back in the car? Let me know what you think in the comments. And hey yo, thanks for tuning in to Celeb Source, your source for celebrity news. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. Peace.